The online facility provides an introduction to the third session on organizing and managing big data. When we talk about big data for AI, a whole range of questions start to arise. What types of technologies do we need? What skills do we need in the organization? How do we derive value from big data? How do we bring a strategy of data into the organization? If we're not careful, we can quickly lose our way in a maze of questions that become confusing because they're, in a sense, interrelated. One way to organize our thoughts and to structure our discussion is to borrow a well-known framework from the field of management of information systems. This framework looks at technology management from three different perspectives. The first perspective is of technology and engineering. The second perspective involves processes and methods. And the third perspective is that of organization and people. When we're talking about big data for AI, essentially, from the engineering perspective, we're talking about data engineering. And when we're talking about processes, we're talking about implementing data analysis. And when we're talking about the organization, we're talking about decision-making and strategy in the organization. By applying this three-part model from the field of management of information systems, we'll be able to talk about the challenges and thus solutions involved in big data for AI in a much more structured way, bringing some level of organization to what can sometimes be a confusing topic. The online facility is broken into three sections. The first section attempts to define big data with a short introductory video. This involves a look at the trends in terms of the sheer amounts of data that are being generated now. It also introduces some of the technologies, in particular Hadoop, that are involved in managing big data. As well, it raises the topic of how important it is to structure data. Although we can store data very easily, it needs to be prepared before it can be brought forward for use in analytics and AI. From here, the second section looks at the topic of challenges in implementing big data AI strategies in the organization. There is an article by a well-known researcher in the analytics field, Tom Davenport, who's known as the godfather of analytics, about some of the challenges that organizations experience when attempting to implement an AI strategy for their organization. There's a short video as well introducing Tom Davenport, and I've linked some of his articles, including some articles to those of his colleagues. Some of these articles were instrumental in popularizing business analytics and later data science and the fields and topics of big data and AI. From here, the third section talks about some of the approaches we can take to bring a data-driven strategy into the organization. I've included some links to works by, for instance, O'Reilly, which offers books on technical subjects that are free for people who are seeking guidance. Throughout the lecture I give on May 14th, I'll also include a number of links and references to articles and further information in case there's topics that we don't have time to cover, but you may wish to follow with greater interest after the lecture. I greatly look forward to giving the webinar on May 14th, and I appreciate any time you have to take a look at the online facility to review the preparation for the lecture. I also look forward to your responses to the 2 questions I've put into the online facility. And I look forward to interacting and meeting on May 14th. Thank you for your time, and I wish you a fine day and the rest of your time before our session.